Hello, my name is Ryan Metzger, and this is my informative speech. Have you ever stopped to think about just how amazing the human heart is? It literally keeps us alive on a daily basis. With its intricate network of arteries and veins, it filters out the carbon dioxide in our blood and then fuels our entire body with oxygenated blood. It's kind of mind blowing to think that this one little organ is so vital to our livelihood, yet it can be so vulnerable if we choose to abuse it. In fact, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, or CDC for short, it can lead to the number one cause of death among men and women in the United States, accounting for about 659,000 deaths each year. Can you guess where I'm going with this? Well, if you haven't gotten it yet, it's cardiovascular disease, also known as heart disease. 1 in every 4 people will die of this disease in the United States each year. It's scary to think that one of us in this class or somebody close to us can easily fall into these statistics if we are not careful. After listening to my speech, you will know what cardiovascular disease is, what the signs and symptoms are, what the risk factors are, and what we can do to prevent or lessen our chances of getting this disease. Knowing and understanding the signs and symptoms and risk factors of heart disease can help save you or someone you love who may be presenting with these symptoms or displaying any of the risk factors. Before we get into the risk factors, let's talk about what cardiovascular disease is and what the most common type of heart disease is in the United States. What exactly is heart disease? Well, according to the World Health Organization, or WHO for short, it's actually a group of disorders of the heart and blood vessels. Of these disorders, coronary artery disease, also known as coronary heart disease, is the most common type in the United States. It affects the blood vessels that supply the heart and other parts of the body. Oftentimes, you may already have heart disease without even knowing it until you start showing signs and symptoms such as a heart attack, arrhythmia, or heart failure. According to the American Heart Association, signs of a heart attack may include chest discomfort, discomfort in other areas of the upper body, and shortness of breath. Arrhythmia may also be referred to as heart palpitations or a fluttering feeling in the chest, while heart failure may include symptoms such as shortness of breath, fatigue, or swelling of the feet, ankles, legs, abdomen, or neck veins. Now that we have a better idea of what heart disease is, along with some of the signs and symptoms, let's take a closer look at what the risk factors that make you more susceptible to heart disease are. There are a number of risk factors, and many of them are influenced by unhealthy lifestyle choices. The 3 main risk factors are high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and smoking. The reason for this is because over half of the people in the United States have at least one of these risk factors. Other risk factors that can put you in an increased risk for heart disease include diabetes, having an unhealthy diet, being obese, having little physical activity, and excessive alcohol use. After learning about the risk factors, can you guess what you can do in order to prevent or lessen your chances of getting heart disease? The American Heart Association has come up with a great infographic listing the 8 steps to prevent heart disease and stroke, which I have also provided as a handout for the class. Heart disease and stroke have many of the same risk factors, which is why they have listed these preventative measures for stroke as well. You can follow along on the handout while I review the 8 steps. First things first, you need to be aware of your own risk for heart disease. Think back to the risk factors. Do you fall into any of these categories? If the answer is yes, at least you are now aware and can take the steps to reduce your risk. Now that we have assessed your risk, take a look at how you are eating. Your diet may be directly contributing to things like your high cholesterol or other related conditions, such as diabetes. Eating healthy can not only reduce your risk for heart disease, but also help control comorbidities such as diabetes, obesity, etc. If you didn't know, your heart is also a muscle and needs exercise just like any other muscle in your body. That's why being physically active is so important for a healthy heart. Watching your weight goes hand in hand with eating healthy and being physically active. Being obese puts a ton of stress on vital organs in your body, and your heart is no exception. I think everyone knows the benefits of living a tobacco-free life, but if you can't kick the cigarettes, it's likely to make eating healthy, exercising, and maintaining an ideal weight a lot harder. If you do happen to have any symptoms that put you at a greater risk, make sure you are working closely with your healthcare provider and any other specialist that may be necessary to help you manage and or prevent your risk. Finally, be a team player. Be open with your healthcare team about anything that might be affecting your health. It could be the reason you are at a higher risk for heart disease and other illnesses. Your healthcare team can help you get on the right path to making healthy lifestyle choices that will reduce your risk of heart disease. Now that we know a little bit more about heart disease, let's recap what we talked about today. Today, you were introduced to what cardiovascular disease is, and hopefully now understand how serious and detrimental it can be to your health. We talked about what exactly cardiovascular disease is and signs and symptoms associated with it, the risk factors that make you more susceptible to getting heart disease, and the preventative measures we can take to significantly reduce our risk of heart disease. The most important step you can take is to assess your own risk of heart disease so that you can take the necessary steps to reduce your risk and maintain a healthy lifestyle. Thank you so much for listening to my informative speech. Have a great day.